everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of my so-called Xennial life. I'm here in the dark because no matter what I do or what I try with lighting or anything, if I have just a little bit of sunlight coming in, my face is bright white. I have no clue. I know I'm a pasty white boy, but that still feels very weird, and this is the best I can do. I just can't get this video to really work well. But anyway, I'm back. I've had a very busy month. I've turned 44 a few weeks ago. I'm now even older, and see, I'm losing more of my hair. But I got me thinking, I am going to try to do more shorts called Xennial shorts. That's something new with YouTube, but much like how my computer's been working bad, so has my phone, and I haven't been able to do it. I've only put up 3, but I'm going to try to do more so I can release more content because the episodes, there have been months in between, and I know some of you like it. I mean, not getting a ton of views, but I know some of you do like it, and I appreciate your support. But I do want to have more content out there so people, so it would be worth people's time to watch it. Now, after that rant, well, about damn time, but I'm back with a new episode. We are going to go back to the Super Nintendo era and talk about one of my favorite games for that system. It ain't my favorite game of all time, but one of my favorite games for that system, Contra III, The Alien Wars. For the Super Nintendo era, that intro was pretty kick-ass, I actually think. I mean, blowing up cities and aliens in a post-apocalyptic Earth. What more could somebody like me want? Anyway, here's a little info about Contra III: The Alien Wars. The game was released in 1992 and is a run-and-gun style video game developed and published by Konami for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or aka SNES. It is the third home console entry to the Contra series after Contra, which came out in '88, and I'll do a video of that another day, and Super C, released in 1990 for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Since it came out in '92, I would have been 13. I believe I got it the summer of that year, but my family rented it first from like Hollywood or Blockbuster Video before my parents bought it for me. Now, back in the day, I played the original Contra a lot when I was a kid, and was one of those games I could easily beat. My mom could also easily beat it because of the Konami code, up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Because without it, the original game was hard as balls. But as for the other Contras, like Super C in the arcade, I never had a chance to play them. So Contra 3 was the first game in the series that I played since the original. When I had the Super Nintendo, there were only a few games that I played a lot, which included Mario World, Mario Kart, and Star Fox. As other games I would play a lot more, like Mortal Kombat 2 and Killer Instinct, hadn't come out yet. So having Contra 3 in my game library added more time of me running my brains out like any good young child would. Honestly, I didn't play a lot of games for the Super Nintendo compared to the original Nintendo and the future PlayStations. I think it's because as I got older, I got into more mature games like Mortal Kombat, Doom, Duke Nukem, and such. Except for a few games, most of the ones on the Super Nintendo were family friendly. And as I got older and it got more into horror, I wanted more violence and gore, like who wouldn't? So, but anyway, that's a video for another day. One thing I liked about this game was the more urban, apocalyptic setting, such as Ruin City in the beginning. I thought it was cool, and it was definitely different from the original's jungle setting. The game also pays homages to a lot of sci-fi films like Blade Runner, Alien, them, and since I loved sci-fi, I enjoyed playing the game even more. When I was a little younger, I was more into science fiction than horror. Now I'm just really into horror. But anyway, the Earth in this game kind of sucks though, as it seems to be polluted and without much vegetation. Really like a Blade Runner apocalypse. If it was like that in real life, it would totally really suck. The bosses are really cool, with special kudos to the giant robot on the third level. He was my favorite, and he was challenging, but I wouldn't say he was too difficult to defeat. But the most difficult boss in the game is a robotic dragon towards the end, as you had to hit it at the right angle without getting killed, and that was quite hard and very hard and quite annoying, and I died many times before I killed that sucker. Despite its difficulty, it's actually a very simple game. You just shoot bad guys, they die, and you blow shit up. But much like the original game, it's still extremely difficult, even on the easy level, because of the one-hit kills mainly. The first 3 levels weren't too bad, but after that, the difficulty goes very high, and like I said, being hit once and dying and losing a life and not getting many lives in the beginning, that adds to the challenge of the game, especially when there's a lot of missiles being launched and enemies all over the place. Anyway, I did die a lot in the game, especially the missile scene towards the end of the 4th level, where you had to jump from missile to missile as they go towards a ship and they blow up while trying to shoot at the ship. That really tried my patience a lot. I'll also mention that on the 5th level, which is a desert region filled with giant ants, it did make me dizzy if you get caught in the rotating quicksand, as that caused the screen to spin around quite a lot. And that can get very annoying, and for some people I'm assuming that can get them very dizzy. Despite its difficulty, I did beat the game on the easy and medium level. Like I said, the first 3 aren't that difficult, but after that, you die a lot. Now, I did discover a cheat, I guess you can say, I believe from the magazine Nintendo Power, I believe, that did allow me to get 30 lives. It wasn't a code, but towards the end of the 3rd level, you come across a flying UFO thing, and if you stayed on one side and kept shooting, enemies would come down and not harm you. Now, the way the game works, after you kill so many enemies and get a certain amount of points, you get an extra life. So you can just stand there and, keep shooting these enemies until you get 30 lives. The only problem was it took a long time to get the full amount because, like I said, the game only started you with 3 to 5 lives, and by the time you get to the 3rd, if you do pretty well, you may have 7. And to get up to about 30, it takes a long time. I estimate to get the full amount, it takes about 2 hours, and they did not have a save function for the game, so that made it really hard. So what I would have to do is, I would take a rubber band, and I would wrap it around the controller to hold down the shoot button, and then just let it be. Now, back then, you had to change channels, usually to channel 3, to play any game. So after I set that up, I would just flip back to the regular television and just watch whatever TV show or anything, because it took so damn long. And since it was in the family room, taking up 2 hours on the TV just to get all these lives kind of made my mom a little bit pissed, and she didn't want me hogging up everything, but that was a good compromise. At least then people can watch TV for 2 hours, and I would go back and have the 30 lives and ready to complete the game. So as you may have guessed, this game did mean a lot to me, as it provided hours of entertainment for me during bad weather or sick days, or during nice days where I just didn't want to socialize or be outside. And like I said, unlike Nintendo and the future PlayStations, there wasn't a lot of games I played frequently for the SNES, especially back in '92. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of my so-called Xennial life. I decided to use a lot more video game footage, or, use video game footage for most of this video because of the, terrible lighting, and I figured, despite some of you might want to see my beautiful face, I'm assuming since we're talking about Contra 3, it would be appropriate that most of the footage would be of the game. So anyway, you can buy the game now. You can get it on the Contra Anniversary Collection Edition for most gaming systems, including the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So get it now. It's worth it, and it has all the other Contra games too. So anyway, till next time, like, subscribe, and share, and don't forget to comment. Tell me about your memories of the game or your favorite Super Nintendo game. Till next time, take care.